I wasn't. Listen, I had a great training camp, so there's no excuses. But what I did in, inspiring, and what I did in training camp compared to what I did in fight night, maybe it didn't click. For me, and being in my fight, I did feel like he stopped it prematurely. I was aware. I got caught a few times, but also dodging a lot of punches.
So Joseph Parker thinks it was an early stoppage, my friends. After watching the replay about 10 to 20 times already of the last little 40 punch combo sequence that Fabio WARDLEY was letting off in the 11th round during the Joseph Parker heavyweight title fight, WBO, WBA interim titles on the line, okay? It actually seems like Joseph Parker was not hurt. He didn't look hurt, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. When you're watching this little 40 punch sequence and you're the ref, especially somebody like Howard Foster, who we're going to talk about a little bit, who in my opinion is a panicker. This is a guy who this guy's been, reffing boxing for the last 28 years, but is known for having some controversial stoppages, okay? You could go way back to Carl Froch versus George Groves, but you could even go a little bit sooner than that and look at some of the other fights that he reffed for Fabio WARDLEY, specifically Michael Coffey. Yep, WARDLEY versus Coffey, another controversial stoppage in my opinion. When you look at some of the refs that Fabio WARDLEY has had, another ref who's reffed a lot of his fights, John Latham. There's some controversial things to talk about, all right? Now, I understand Joseph Parker and Ariel HELWANI absolutely chewing out Howard Foster for doing this. I've seen many, many interviews from a lot of people talking about when they heard that Howard Foster was going to be the referee for this fight, they knew something bad can happen. This is the type of ref who over panics, who adrenaline gets up so high and hears all the fans that he feels like he needs to step in the fights, but maybe he's stepping in them a little too early. Now, don't get me wrong. I still believe and understand why he stepped in there. Joseph Parker at times was getting clipped with a punch every now and then. And he's a big guy. He's falling over his feet. He's leaning on the ropes. And of course, your adrenaline picks up as a ref and you want to step into these fights. But when you look at a lot of Fabio WARDLEY's fights, a lot of these guys he's TKOing and not completely putting them to sleep. And it's because the refs are stepping in doing their job. But sometimes, does it just feel like these refs are stepping in a little too early? And maybe it's on purpose. I don't know, man. I don't know if there's a specific reason why they chose Howard Foster to ref this fight with Fabio WARDLEY. I really don't know. All right, but Joseph Parker feels like they stepped in too early with him. And to the point, Ariel HELWANI brought him on and is absolutely furious about this. He's over here backing up Joseph Parker ridiculously, showing tape and rewatching it. So if you haven't seen it in slow motion, check this video out and tell me what you think about the stoppage.
Reason why I wanted to show this was because I feel like he missed a lot of the punches that the public at home or even Foster thought that he landed, including the final one. As you can see, there's a lot of misses there. And so even here, this is the actual final, like that's a miss right there. And these aren't landing clean. And that last shot, the final shot is a miss.
Now, when you look at it right there, it doesn't actually seem like Joseph Parker is hurt at all. But it is what it is now, right? It's Tuesday. Halloween's coming up on Friday. The fight was on Saturday. It's been 4 days now. And there's nothing we could do about it. But, in my opinion, I don't agree with setting up Fabio WARDLEY against Alexander Usyk next. And the only reason why I say that is because with Howard Foster stepping into that fight with Fabio WARDLEY and Joseph Parker, the last weekends, Joseph Parker wasn't hurt. And if Fabio WARDLEY gassed himself out with that combination, that 40 punch sequence. Joseph Parker looked like he was rolling in that fight. The end of the 10th round, he was dominating that round, right? Until he got hit with that huge punch in the end of the 10th round. But it's very possible that if he survives that onslaught, things would have been different. But at the end of the day, I do understand why the ref jumped in based off of excitement and adrenaline. But I do think these refs need to do a little bit better of a job of just staying out of it, all right? Especially a guy like Howard Foster, you're known for doing this. I personally feel like maybe they told Howard Foster, as soon as you see Joseph Parker hurt, step in and stop it, okay? Now, Joseph Parker says he wants the automatic rematch. He says he'll fight him next month if he can. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, man, I would not mind at all to see one more rematch, the ultimate showdown. Joseph Parker, who was winning that fight, coming back for redemption. We've seen Fabio WARDLEY do this before with Fraser Clark, right? Don't forget, Fabio WARDLEY fought against Fraser Clark. The first fight, it came out to be a draw. The second fight, what did Fabio WARDLEY do? He slept them in one round. So I would absolutely love to see this rematch with Joseph Parker because there's stories behind this, man. Now, if Fabio WARDLEY gets the fight with Alexander Usyk next, then at the end of the day, I'm still happy because this is a guy with no amateur experience, 4 white-collar fights, and has just shocked the world 2 times in a row. You know, losing in both of his fights, especially with Justice Honey, and coming back in the 10th. And almost redoing that, except for doing in the 11th round, against a high-caliber fighter like Joseph Parker, who many believe should have been fighting the likes of Alexander Usyk before this, my friends. A lot of controversy in this fight, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.